Hey everybody, this is Malchija, aka Maj from Maj Events from Maj Send the series, and I changing things up. Today I can do a brief deck tech on modern Esper Control. Esper Control is a deck that I've had my eye on for a little while since it broke out. I want to say about 3 months ago. I really came back to the surface 3 months ago, and I had most of the pieces. I had a playset of Statcast images that were looking for a home. They were either likely gonna go into this same deck here, or they were gonna go into like either a Grixis control deck or this, and they ended up here because I think moving away from Grixis, is it Blitz has settled solidly into its own right. But before we get into the deck tech, I want to do a few plugs. First off, I want to give a big shout out to headphones as soon as I can find them. Aha! Here they are. Just so the audio would be more consistent because I've had audio challenges. But I do want to give a big shout out to all of our local game stores, wherever you are, as the best place to play Magic and to pick up Magic singles. So whenever you're in the DMV, check out Dice City Games. Whenever you're in the Caribbean, head over to Barbados to check out Anime Spot. Magic is truly a universal space, and we are excited to continue to, to support your local game store and give them their flowers while we have them. Um, so without further ado, I want to jump into the mix. This will be a deck tech where I go over card choices, meta matchups, what is filling in what slot, and then I'll go over the mana base afterwards. Now, first, let me start here in my one drop slot. I have four Opt. Opt is my favorite card across Magic's history. Um, Opt is where I learned the power of blue. Scry, draw, instant speed, um, information, knowledge, all of the things that blue does well. Opt was a very, very early introductory. Of course, there are more powerful cards like even Serum Visions, Brainstorm, Ponder, Preordain. Arguments can be made for those, but Opt definitely was my call to blue. What drew me away from aggro. Big shout out to Marisa, was one of my is one of my mentors where aggro is concerned. He absolutely does not like the path of control that I've taken, and we will play some games on here at some point in time where I'll try to bring him around to see the light, to see the stars, if you will. But yeah, Opt, super versatile, instant, go into the graveyard, have another look for my control suite. Can cast it back with Snapcaster to can dig a little deeper. So just a way to get further along the deck. Uh, I'm running Castle Vantress and Castle Ardenvale uh, in my uh, in my land base, but I'm not running Castle Lockley. I thought about it and drawing an extra card, but I'm playing a lot of shocks and not a lot of fetches, so I'm hurting from my mana, so I don't have that utility to kind of go digging. Uh, so Op fills a number of roles. Now, I've been looking at deck lists online and I've not seen a lot of deck lists play Thoughtseize. I've seen Inquisition or Kozlet, I've seen some number of Thoughtseize in the sideboard, but I've not seen a lot of Thoughtseize main deck, and I don't know how I feel about that. I get it. Decks are going low to the ground, losing the extra 2 life doesn't feel good, but there are combo decks out there. There are free counter spells. There are a number of things that Thoughtseize still addresses. So I am going to uh, kind of meet it in the middle where conventional wisdom is going. I'm not going to play a full four Thoughtseize or Inquisition, but I am going to play two Thoughtseize and I'm going to play two Fatal Push. We had reached a point where the mana advantage that you gave to your opponent when you played, what was the card? The white card, Path to Exile, was so significant that it could mean losing the game a turn early, especially with the Blitz decks when they were super popular. Now, of course, I haven't tested this a lot against the new meta, so I can only speak to the existing meta as at just before the pre-release, or just before the release of Modern Horizon 2. I will evaluate it in terms of some of the decks that have come out, but definitely I want to get my feet wet with the deck again in the Modern Horizons 2 metagame, and maybe I'll come back and revisit this soon. Um, but yes, it was not a good time to play Path to Exile. I saw a recent let on MTG Goldfish and playing Path to Exile, and maybe there's some reconsiderations to be made there. But so far, I'm going with two Thoughtseize and two Fatal Push. Um, and of course, for Snapcaster Mage, excellent card, excellent utility. It comes back, it basically gives spells retrace. It can cast them from the graveyard and then exile them. I have 10 counter spells. It allows me to get any one of those 10s in the game. It has flash. It's a body. It's an okay body. It's a 2/1 for 2 mana. Not the best body, but not the worst. But it has a lot of utility and a lot of interplay in the deck. Moving on to the 3-drop slot. I'll move to my counter spells last. That includes the iconic counter spell. My counter spells are all non-English. I have a Japanese one and a Japanese alternate counter spell, and two logic knots that are basically placeholding until I pick up some more counter spells. But I'll come back there. Going over here, Kaya's Guile and Esper Charm basically are the things that give this deck legs. Kaya's Guile says choose two. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Exile all cards from each opponent's graveyard. Create a 1/1 black spirit creature token with flying, and you gain 4 life. Intertwine 3. Choose all if you pay the intertwine cost. Middle of the game, 6 mana up. Absolutely choose all. Esper Charm, choose one. Destroy target enchantment. Draw 2 cards. Target player discards 2 cards. So draw 2, your opponent discards 2. Very, very solid cards. I 1 copy of Anguish Unmaking. I am exile target non-land permanent. You lose true life. There's a functionally better card than this called Vindicate, which just says exile target non-land permanent. Vindicate was just printed into Modern for Modern Horizons 2. As soon as I get my hand on a copy, I will absolutely upgrade to Vindicate. And 1 copy of Shatter the Sky. I'm seeing this card called Dam from Modern Horizons 2. That is a pretty useful card. It's 2 mana, destroy target non-legendary card, is it? Or 2 mana, destroy target creature. That's Dam. Or you pay 2, that's 2 black. You pay 2 of any color and 2 white, destroy all creatures. So one of the most versatile removal spells I've seen, I won't say ever, like Wrath of God, uh, and that ilk is super powerful as well, but I feel like Dam will take its place in Magic's history. Um, Very, very high on that card. Uh, Maybe I replace Shatter the Sky with that when I get my hands on some Modern Horizons 2 product. Moving on to my Planeswalkers. I'm playing 8 Planeswalkers, and this is where the majority of the control aspect of my deck will come from. My counter spells to get rid of troublesome permanents have some removal with Fatal Push, Kaya's Guile, and Esper Charm. Well, Fatal Push, Kaya's Guile, and Anguish Unmaking, as long as alongside my board white, but my Planeswalkers will win me the game. Strictly speaking, are Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and Kaya the Inexorable. Teferi Time Raveler is there just to really to mess with my opponent's game plan. Stops a lot of control combo decks, stops a lot of decks that go off, stops Storm, slows down decks that want to multi-spell and want to interact with me. Gives me some breathing space. Definitely not as good against aggro, but being able to cast a Shadow of the Sky at instant speed does feel like it can come in handy from time to time. Gives me feelings of settle the wreckage. Coming back here, Narset Parta of Veils. Each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn, and then it digs for non-creature spells. Now in this deck, um, 35 spells, 25 lands. There are only 4 creature spells, which means there are 31 non-creature spells. 29, 30 hits excluding Narset. 29 if you exclude the second Narset. Super valuable card. Always gonna get me some amount of gas if it doesn't hit land. Um, Kaya the Inexorable, I think is a fine planeswalker. Put a Ghost Foreign token at the one non-token creature. When it dies, return it to its owner's hand and create a 1/1 spirit token. Now, oftentimes I'm going to put that on Snapcaster Mage, bump Snapcaster Mage back to my hand when it dies, and get a free blocker to replace it. Going to be super useful, but most of the time I'm playing this 5 mana exile target non-land permanent. Right? When I'm ahead, I can continue to plus. Uh, you don't have to target something here if you don't want to, because it says up to 1 target non-land creature. But again, I just explained the Snapcaster interaction. Fantastic. This card is just good. It's ultimate 7. You get an emblem with at the beginning of your upkeep. You may cast a legendary spell from your hand, from your graveyard, or from among cards you own in exile for free. So get it to 7, exile it, cast it back again for free. Repeat the loop. I mean, it's a solid card. Teferi Hero Dominaria. Teferi, the hero we love to hate. We all know Teferi, what it does. Draw a card and tap 2 lands, bumps a creature, R -7. Whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent and opponent controls. Teferi wins games if left unresolved, or if left resolved. Speaking of being left resolved, we're moving to our counter suite. We have 2 copies of Cryptic Command, 1 copy of Force Negation, 3 copies of Archmage's Charm, and eventually 4 copies of Counter Spell. Counter Spell, counter target spell, full stop, period. As easy as you can do it. Does the job, gets the job done. Bam, bing, boom. Yes, please. Logic Knot will work in a pinch. It's not as effective early game. It's more like, you know what? Until I get the other 2, I'm going to replace Logic Knot with Mana Leak. Just because the Delve requirement, as well as the counter target spell, unless its controller plays X, feels a little restrictive. Because in the early game, X will generally speaking be low, and in the mid game that can also be the case. So I'm going to replace Logic Knot with 2 Mana Leaks until I get my other counter spells. But counter spell is absolutely the ideal. Our deck can easily get counter spell on turn 2 because we are playing 10, 12, 14, 16, 20, 24, 25. 25 permanents are spells with blue, and we have we have 12 blue sources in our mana base, excluding the fetches and the utility lands. So we have a fairly reasonable chance to hit blue. Double blue on turn 2. Yeah, so counter spell, super useful, super utility. Archmage's Charm can take away a prowess creature in a pinch. Force and Negation, always have to have a free spell handy. When you're down on cards, you can cast it back with Snapcaster Mage. You can, you know, pitch a Teferi to force your opponent's Teferi. There's just so much utility in having it. I spoke to my friend Jared today, and Jared said that in a creature heavy matchup, force may not be what it used to be, the powerhouse it used to be. And I quite agree with that sentiment. In an era with hardened scales, in an era with well, not quite hardened scales, Urza, with a lot of Urza deck running around with a lot of prowess, blitz, burn. Well, it stops burn. So prowess, one second. Food, affinity, prowess, Jeskai, Stormblade, and Luris decks. It doesn't feel as strong and or prominent. And I totally agree with that sentiment. So one force of negation, two cryptic commands. I would like to go up to three cryptic commands, but we'll kind of play that by ear and see if we need to invest in the third cryptic here. Uh, I try not to disembody decks to put out other ones. Let's get down to our mana base and then we can wrap this up because I am probably gonna go grab something to eat and then try and see if I can get some actual games in on one of these servers. Check out MAJH Events server or at MAJH Sunday Series. Check out MTG at home. Check out MTG Paper Legacy if you want to play some Paper Magic over webcam. But don't forget your first stop, your primary source for all things Magic is always and should always be your LGS. At night, at this kind of time, minutes to 12, definitely if you can get your Magic fix on the webcam, go for it. There are so many options to play. Magic truly survived and adapted through the pandemic. I've got one copy of Emerius Call that kind of filters between my 36th card and my 25th land. Apart from that, I have two castles, Castle Ardenvale, Castle Vantris. I have one Clearwater Pathway. I have two fetches. These should really be two flooded strands. This should be four flooded strands. But we'll get there eventually. One Field of Ruin takes care of a number of problematic land utility lands from the World Tree, from Urza, from uh, what else? What are new lands? The Urbarg and the Yavimaya lands. Field of Ruin is just an excellent choice in this meta. Crawling Barrens for turns where you're holding up control and you need something to dump all that mana into. Blast Zone, just a utility land of your own to kind of answer threats your opponent controls. Um, Three islands, because we are predominantly a blue deck. Two plains and one swamp. I'm still running snow covers because there's literally until a point there was literally no drawback. There is an anti-snow card. I don't know how much play that will see, but I'll test it out in the meta and we can see. So we have three hallowed fountains, three godless shrines, and four watery graves to round out our mana base. So yes, a lot more shocks than fetches. Uh, One because I don't have access to them, and two because I just feel like um, they'll just do the job in a pinch. Um, I'm more than happy for going up to six fetches and four shocks, or six fetches and six shocks. I like that. Any combination there works for sure because we already have two. But yeah, here's the deck. Modern Esper Control. Let me know what you guys think. Leave comments, card suggestions, especially cards from Modern Horizons 2. I'm torn between buying boxes or buying singles, and I just like to update my existing decks. Maybe pick up one additional deck. The Asmore Food deck is definitely right up my alley. I think the black green one over the Urza one. Even the Urza might functionally be the better deck. But let me know what are your thoughts, decks that you think are good, decks I should be testing this against, card improvements. I'll take suggestions about more fetches because fetches have fallen in price. But you know, we try to build out of our own collection where as possible. And unless you absolutely have to, like, I'm not moved here or there about 4 to 6 fetches, but 10 fetches feels a little excessive. But let me know your comments in the comment section below. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I can try to put more content. Shoot, did forget the sideboard. Uh, one more thought, is Mystical Dispute, Dovin's Veto, Mastermind's Acquisition, Doomscar, Tree, Ether, Gus. Um, just because prowess is so prominent, and I think there's going to be green decks popping up in the meta. Green is always a powerful card. These last five are very eh. Time Warp, Professor Onyx, two Time Warps, Professor Onyx, Eliminate, and Tail's End. Just cards I like, cards that I feel like will have some utility. These two fractures are very, very good, and they'll come in when they come in. You'll know the time to bring in. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker for 2 mana. You know, just a solid card. But these last five, Time Warp, Professor Onyx, Eliminate, and Tails End, are cards I'm interested in trying. I don't know if they fit. Give me some feedback in the comment section below. Thank you again. This was, I hope this was short enough, but this was Modern Esper Control Deck Tech. Look forward to some gameplay soon enough, and thank you all for watching and have a wonderful evening. Peace. Stay safe and have fun.